What's up, comrades? So, a lot of shitty news today. So, because we live in a fascist hellhole, a fascist regime, and we always have, like, I think the main thing when we talk about politics and the shit that's happening right now is to have like a thorough analysis. Like, we literally have ICE that is just storming into places and snatching. They arrested 575 motherfuckers.
Yep.
575 people here to do what? Feed you and me. Feed our ungrateful asses. And in this case, um, this was a manufacturing site. It was a factory where Hyundai makes electric cars. So yeah, they make your cars, they grow your food, basically without migrants of all types, legal or otherwise. Honestly, I really don't give a fuck what this hellhole calls legal. To me, the entire existence of this country is illegal. So I don't care about bourgeois legality or anything like that. But without migrants, without immigrants, without people who come here from other places, we would be cooked. Like, raise your hand in chat or here if you would sign up to go and pick lettuce and tomatoes and all that other shit that needs to be harvested by hand. People are like, oh, we have machines now. We don't know. Like, if you use machines to pick fucking grapes, you're gonna have wine. So if you like wine, that's cool. But if you like having nice little grapes to eat, you're gonna be fucked because those are very, very delicate fruits,
I'm
and
one
you're
of
not just
the
dry.
I'm one of the rare people that really enjoys manual labor. So
Okay, well, we know who's getting sent down to the countryside. Me, yeah, I'm not fucking with it.
The work that I do in my own garden at home is not comparable to what farm workers do. And I know what it's like to have to do farm labor. I had to grow up doing that shit. I
Hey,
had
hmm
to grow
you
up.
grew up on a farm.
I didn't like, we didn't own a farm, but my uncle did. And one of the ways that I could get extra money to help my mom support the household was to go and work in the tobacco field and to go and bale hay and do all this other stuff.
yeah, this shit
Tobacco
is
field.
physically taxing. It's not an
Yeah.
easy job.
I'm not fucking with it. My ancestors paid that bill for me for free. Nope. I'm
Yeah.
not getting into no fucking field. But yeah, this is unconscionable. Well, actually, it's not unconscionable because this is what like if you piss off the South Korean government, you are you're fucking up. And Koreans are rarely caught up in these types of things. Only 46 Koreans were deported during the 12 months period that ended September 30th, 2024. Why? Because South Korea is basically a puppet state of the United States. And when
Mm.
you're a puppet state of the United States, your nationals get your nationals get like privileged treatment. Like, I haven't heard of them deporting Saudis, but like Trump is targeting Venezuelans because Venezuela is in contradiction with the United States. It's targeting. Well, it's always targeted Mexicans, regardless of the type of government that they have. But like, yeah, we're in like you're familiar with that whole Lenin quote about like years happening in weeks. Now we have fucking a decade happening every fucking day now. So um it's really, really important that we get our shit together. It's really important that we get our shit together. Like, all of this reformist crap, it's not working. It does not mean though that we are inherently opposed to reform. So um because when we talk about reformism versus tactical engagement with the struggle for reforms, like, what's the difference? Like, what is reformism?
It's attempting to achieve socialism or communism strictly through the apparatus that is already established, which
Mhm.
isn't going to happen. It's a system and a state that you have to destroy and rebuild for the proletariat, for the lumpen, for the disenfranchised. It's not something that you can make happen with the system that is already established and controlled by the bourgeois.
I think we're gonna have
Right.
to do like a. I think we're gonna have to do a stream about the lumpen at one point. At some point, I mean,
Absolutely.
I know liberation has like a reputation as the lumpen caucus, and Tiva fucking well, in major part because Tiva fucking admitted to stabbing somebody on stream. But like, I don't know. I'm more aligned with Kevin Rashid Johnson's analysis that like yeah, the lumpen are a growing. They're not even a class. They're I believe Marx termed them the refuse of all classes. Like you have petty bourgeois people, you have well formerly petty bourgeois people that have been lumpenized. You have proletarians that have been lumpenized. And the
Mm.
thing with class is that class is fluid. Like people act like we cannot have a moral understanding of class. Like it's basically your relation to the means of production. Speaking of Lupin, oh look, here's Skrilla.
Yeah, I've had to do things
Forever.
that.
I ain't even gonna lie.
Sorry. Oh, there's Skrilla. So I was just gonna say that I've been unemployed for quite a long time now. I only had like one job since getting fired from Amazon, and I didn't even last there for very long because it was in the bourbon industry, and the tariffs targeted that industry. Canada's
Ooh, shit.
retaliatory tariffs. So I lost that job in March, and I only had it since November of last year.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've had to do a lot of things to survive that I don't
Do not go
really.
into detail about those
Yeah,
things on stream.
yeah, and you know, being lumpen is something that's very close to me, and it's like you can go somewhere and like talk to people about what you've had to do to survive, and some of them really will isolate you because of that. They
Yeah,
will start like they will not talk to you anymore.
yeah. Those
You'll
guys
just
fucking
they'll
yeah,
be
they're fucking
isolating.
yeah. They'll be like, oh, you're fucking crazy, or like, what's wrong with you? Like it's really
Mhm.
really bad in regards to sex workers. Like, a lot of people like they treat them as like um they treat them
Untouchable.
as yeah untouchables, dalit. Like you are unworthy to be in our company, and stuff like that. So, um, and like the whole debate over whether or not sex workers were like it doesn't fucking matter. It
Mhm.
does not fucking matter. Why would you alienate yourself? Like people always talk about, we can't alienate ourselves from the masses. Like sex workers are part of the masses. Sex workers are part of the
Exactly.
masses, and like sex workers are a very very diverse category. Like people that like sugar babies, like it's and there is like
I know a
the
ton of
analysis.
sex workers.
Yeah, the analysis. Yeah, you probably visit a lot of sex workers too.
I
Anyways,
gotta go.
anyways, but like seriously though, like part of being a Maoist is being a dialectical materialist. It's part of being a Maoist is realizing that hey, this shit is fluid. We have to organize everybody that has beef with this system, and nobody has like more reason to have beef with to want to destroy this fucking system than sex workers. So the whole constant Twitter argument over whether or not it's legitimate work, notwithstanding, we still need to work with and organize them. We still need to arm them. Speaking of arms, Trump is literally wanting to, um, like, okay, so here's the angle that they seem to be approaching it from. The Justice Department says in a statement that in response to questions about the firearms talks, that the agency is actively evaluating options to prevent the pattern of violence that we have seen from individuals with specific mental health challenges. So the Trump administration is moving towards legally classifying our trans comrades as mentally ill across the board, right? So, like, basically, if you are a trans person with this regime, the way that it's going, they're going to basically categorize you as mentally ill and start to rapidly strip away your rights, including your Second Amendment right to own firearms. And they are using a canard, basically implying that, and again, they rely on people being low information. So basically, categorizing trans comrades as inherently dangerous. But of course, as we know, the majority of mass shootings have been committed by who? Cisgender white men, right?
Right.
Who are heterosexual. So, like, it's a canard. It's a canard to throw a bone. Like all of the shit, renaming the Department of Defense the Department of War, which was its original name, if I recall correctly. Like basically all this old school bullshit. It's intended, I think, in major part to take away focus on the fact that the fucking economy is fucked. Like all these tariffs. Like Matt literally mentioned that they lost their job because of Trump fucking with Canada with tariffs and stuff. And like now you've got 11 Venezuelan civilians that have been murdered by this country for no fucking reason at all. And you also have this that came out. The United States Navy SEALs literally snuck into North Korea trying to plant a listening device. Like you literally risked nuclear war to plant a listening device. Mind you, this was all while Trump was talking to Kim Jong Un in 2019. And while you're doing this, you have the Navy SEALs sneak into North Korea to plant a listening device, but they were caught. They were seen by a fishing boat, and you massacre the entire fucking crew, puncture their lungs so that they
Yo,
sink to the bottom.
god damn.
And they just now released this information, and like it's just fascism is not necessarily a rational ideology. Like while you're sitting down, while you convey the message that yo, yeah, I'm willing to talk. Like Trump is literally the only American president that is that's been to the DPRK. Like he literally stepped across the border for a little bit, and then and then like this is why you cannot trust the Americans. This is why you cannot trust Americans. The Kurds learned this the hard way. Bless their hearts. Like you allow these people to sneak in, or you sit down with them, and they're gonna fuck you over.
The Kurds learned twice.
Yeah,
They did. They
I
did.
fucking love them. I fucking love them. But yeah, never,
They
never,
got
ever trust. Never trust an American.
they got
Never
used
trust.
during Desert Storm and then got purged by Saddam Hussein, and then they got used again during Syria's civil war, and now they're left alone and Turkey's bombing the fuck out of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened. Like the Americans basically used them to get it serious, like take as much of Syria's oil as they could, and now and then like okay, good luck, and fed them to the Turks. Yeah. Also, all of us are wearing keffiyeh, by the way. Well, Skrilla, what you're wearing, I believe, is more akin to a shamag. But
No, this is a keffiyeh. I bought this from Habawi.
oh yeah, what is it? Red and black?
Yeah.
Do they have a red and white one?
I don't have a red and white one, but I'm pretty sure they sell one.
I'm tripping. Yeah, I fucks with it. I'm still thinking about the Emerge pink and white keffiyehs.
And I was wearing
Like-
this over it.
In 27, we need to have our own. We need to have our own colorway. I'm leaning towards Skrillis.
The
I was
red
going
and
to say another thing about stripping weapons from people who are trans and otherwise. I mean, first of all, over my cold dead body, right? You ain't getting my pieces. But the other thing is like they means tested this whenever they legalized cannabis, and then they started saying, hey, if you have a medical card, you cannot have a gun. Right? So now they did no knock raids on people for having a medical card. They did all kinds of shit like that. And it was just allowed to happen. Like not really many people pushed back on this, right?
Yeah.
And now they can just say if you're on HRT, we're gonna get you, right?
The fucking NRA, the fucking NRA came out and said something about this before the fucking Democrats. That's how cooked the Democrats are.
Yeah.
Like if you lose the NRA as a fucking Republican, what you're trying to do is cracked beyond belief.
Keep in mind that Trump in his first term did ban bump stocks, and then when he got into office this time around, he immediately started talking about banning firearms from certain individuals. It was called the Violent Offender Safety Act or whatever they were talking about in court. I'll send a video of it to the Discord actually.
Yeah.
Also,
Tom, go ahead.
Let me just do that real quick. But also, obviously, my girlfriend isn't cis, and I was like, yeah, nah, they ain't taking your shit. They ain't taking my shit, but they ain't taking your shit. You feel me?
Why do you think? Yeah, like why the fuck do you think that? Like, how are you going to take guns from people with guns, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's more firearms in this nation than there are people, and you think that these people are gonna let you take that shit? You're insane.
And I've seen it said that like people are like people have been saying that Trump is like he's systems testing, like he's trying to, and he knows that all the shit he's doing is illegal. He knows that all the shit he's doing is going to be struck down in court. Like you cannot just disarm an entire fucking group of people because of their identity. Like no, we don't do that. Or honestly, I really don't feel comfortable saying that we don't do or we do because like what we do and what we don't do is changing drastically. Like this, for example, our comrades from Palestinian Youth Movement, DSA was actually a sponsor the very first time of the People's Conference for Palestine. Yes, R22 has opened up many, many doors for us. But Tom Cotton, like you could like first
Fuck
of all,
that guy.
a motherfucker named Cotton, like you could already tell. You can already fucking tell he's gonna be on some fuck shit. Cotton. So Cotton is mad in particular because of this.
Is that 70% of the cost of the F-35 program actually comes from the supply chain. 70% of this $2 trillion that goes into the supply chain is literally because they need to transport the different components of the F-35 to different locations to assemble them. And what's really important for us to know is that the F-35 supply chain functions off of this just-in-time logistics process. It's called this, it's an inventory management system.
Kaizen.
It's called just-in-time, which means that it delivers the goods right before they're needed. And it's also noted that for an F-35, for every 1 hour of flight, it actually needs 3 hours of maintenance. So what I'm saying to y'all.
So in Maoist guerrilla mode, like basically it's got an overextended supply chain, right? Its logistics are all fucked up. So it basically grounding these things would be very, very easy to do. Like that's why it's important to organize workers that are parts of like this whole supply chain. And because like she's literally explaining like, hey, like it's not, this is not a video game. Like you put a jet up in the air, it needs fuel, it needs maintenance because these are multi-million-dollar intricately designed death machines. So like if something goes wrong, somebody's got to fix it. Yeah. So it's relatively easy to ground these things. And you have Tom Cotton talked about, this is a threat to national security. And,
every time I hear Tom Cotton, I think of Cotton Hill from King of the Hill.
Yeah, I think
literally that's what my mind immediately first went to was Cotton from King of the Hill.
They took my spins.
I thought of something else.
Is that if one specific node of the F-35 supply chain is intervened in, it has a huge impact on our people back home.
Lord.
I really do value people who know supply chains, who know.
We've really developed a methodology, and then I hope that we can get into this and we can talk about it a bit more through this panel. But what's important for us to know here is that the more that we know, the more that we can do. Knowledge is really power here. And we need to be surgical. We need to be strategic, and we need to be bold in our actions. Because there are many different points of these supply chains of death that we can intervene in, and we must intervene in.
Okay, so she's not calling for anything ostensibly illegal. She's not calling for us to go out and like start blowing up F-15.
Yeah, that felt pretty tame. She's not really calling for like direct action or sabotage. She's just making it clear the effect that a supply chain has.
And he paints it as calling for violence against American workers.
What a big fucking baby. Oh my God, bro.
And the thing is, like, comrades in the Palestinian Solidarity Movement, like, they have experience. Like, they know what they can say and what they cannot say. Again, we live in an entirely new fucking paradigm now. Holy shit, Cash Patel's name is Cash App. The Honorable Kashat Patel, Director, Federal Bureau of Investigation, 935 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. So this is the letter that he wrote to the FBI Director, Tom Cotton. He says, I want to bring your attention to the dangerous and almost certainly illegal. How the fuck are you a United States Senator and you don't know the law? Well, that's a stupid fucking question. Most lawyers don't know the law. Most cops certainly don't know the law. Activities of a member of the Palestinian Youth Movement, a legal organization, mind you, and asked that you conduct a full investigation into this threat to U.S. national security. PYM leader Aisha Nazar spoke at the recent People's Conference for Palestine in Michigan, where she openly called on supporters to disrupt the U.S. F-35 supply chain. This was part of her larger call to damage U.S. military support to Israel in their lawful war against Hamas. Jesus fucking Christ.
Lawful war against Hamas.
Yeah, Nizar highlighted the complex F-35 supply chain, saying, if one specific node of the F-35 supply chain is intervened in, it has a huge impact. She continued, we need to be surgical, we need to be strategic, because there are many different points of these supply chains of death that we can intervene in and we must intervene in. I have previously raised concerns about the PYM and their anti-Semitic activities, along with their likely illegal receipt of tax-exempt donations. Is PYM even a 501c3? I doubt it. PYM is populated with bad actors like Nizar, who was arrested and charged for her role in the 2024 Gaza war protest that trapped motorists on the Golden Gate Bridge. Look, if you want to get off the Golden Gate Bridge, all you got to do, like the bay is right there. All you have to do is jump off the bridge. Anyway, she has taken her anti-American and anti-Semitic bigotry a step further and is directly endangering U.S. national security. How? Even if she did, so fucking what? You got literal fucking Nazis. Have you written a letter about them? Nizar's statements constitute a direct incitement of violence against U.S. national security interests by advocating for actions against the men and women who build the F-35 and seeking to imperil the delivery of one of the nation's most strategic assets. I'm just going to tell you this right now. If an F-35, like if fucking jets and weapons are like your main strategic assets, then you do not have the right to exist as a country. Blah, 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 blah. Bad, 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 bad. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And mind you, DSA was one of the co-sponsors of this conference. So we're definitely going to be in the crosshairs next because, segueing into our electoralism segment, Trump has a hair in his ass about Mamdani now. He always has. But, like, he's wrapping up. Why? Because Iran very possibly might win.
Not very possibly. He's going to. There's no way that New York is not going to get a Democratic candidate as mayor. What independent is there? There's not going to be a Republican. That's for sure. The dude in the red beret is not going to win. That's for sure.
He's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he literally said that he wants to just unleash cats on New York City to stop the rat problem. Yeah. There's also an interview he did back in the 80s where he's up there with the guy who's wearing a keffiyeh and defending the Intifada. But anyways, the first Intifada. But yeah, Curtis Sly was still a reactionary. He basically, like, his little group, the Guardian Angels, they're basically like a gang of nerds. Well, they're mostly old nerds now. He actually came to St. Louis to the Peabodys, the projects here. He actually spent his honeymoon here. This was like when my mom was a kid. I think it was like 81, 82. And like he literally got chased out of here.
Damn.
Like he was giving an interview with people walking by throwing bottles and shit at him. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Big tough New Yorker. He used to manage a McDonald's, I think, on Fordham Road in the Bronx. And like, bro, you did the Bronx, but St. Louis fucking had your ass pressed. I love my city. Anyways. And so yeah. Yep, Trump is meddling. He does not want Zaran to, and like we have critiques of Zaran, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, he's I do not think he's not a Zionist, okay? Like Zaran Mamdani. Like, here's the thing, because I went through this with like fucking Bad Empanada and all these other. Okay, everybody that disagrees with you tactically is not a fucking Zionist,
right?
Everybody that disagrees with you, I do not support the continued existence of the state of Israel. I do not.
And it's also irritating because there's so many things that you can critique people
it's
on.
Undialectical.
They choose the accusation of Zionism rather than looking at actual
It's a buzzword. Like, you people are turning the righteous armed struggle of the Palestinian people into a cheap fucking game for what? To satisfy your own impotence at not having done shit to stop these people from dying? So what?
No, it really is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Really
So you cannibalize your comrades, like, bro. Like, I've been called a Zionist, and I've also been called an anti-Semite. Like, that's where we are now. And of course, I'm not an egotist. I don't give a fuck. But it just shows like how unserious these fucking people are. And it's nerve wracking. It's irritating. What the fuck? I thought that was a fucking Marine helmet.
No, I just wanted to change hats.
Anyways, but like I'm not gonna spend this whole fucking stream ranting or everything. But Zaran Mamdani, I do not think he's not ideologically or politically committed. Like if Israel collapsed tomorrow, I don't think Zaran would be crying tears for him. Has he said stupid shit? Have his advisors pressed him to say stupid shit? Yeah, but Tom Cotton is a Zionist, okay? Tom Cotton, Donald Trump, Cash App Patel,
Randy Fine.
Yeah, Randy Fine. All these fucking people, those are Zionists. There are also liberal Zionists. Mm-hmm. There are like soft Zionists.
I recruited a couple people who were wearing keffiyehs on our Labor Day event, and they were like this Labor Day protest was organized by 5051 and in LIUNA, like Laborers Union. It was interesting thing they had there, but DSA was there. We had our table and everything, and there were very few people in keffiyehs, but there were these two college students that were out there in full protest, and I let them borrow my megaphone because after talking to people all day, my voice was a little bit going out, and recruited them to DSA and told them about our anti-Zionist line. And just explain that we're not using such a broad definition of Zionism that people like to use, right? Made them understand that Zionism is actually a pretty specific thing, right? That we can't just
while we're arguing. Like, here's the thing. Like, okay, while we're arguing over this shit, while we're cannibalizing each other, okay, the genocide is ongoing. The genocide is continuing. We have not done everything that we could and can and must to stop the genocide, to get an arms embargo. We have not done that because we're too busy squabbling with each other over inane, irrelevant shit. Okay? No, Zaran is not as far left as I would like him to be. Could the argument be, I'm going to backtrack a little bit on something that I said. Could the argument be made that Zaran is like, he has taken positions that charitably could be interpreted as being in line with liberal Zionism? Yes or no? I would say so. Yeah, he has said that Israel has the right to exist. I temporarily forgot about that because I'm old. But I would not consider him an enemy like I would consider Bernie Sanders an enemy. Like Bernie has consistently and constantly asserted the right of Israel. The man lived on a fucking kibbutz with fuck state, literally above the bones of Palestinian people. I would not consider Zaran an enemy like I would AOC, who has literally cashed votes that have hurt the Palestinian people. But he is not. He's not Rashida Tlaib. He is not Cory Bush. No. I would maybe we could consider him a centrist. Yeah.
That reminds me. Check the Discord real quick in the international news chat. That I saw that earlier. I forgot to send it, but that shit is crazy.
Israel has killed 20.7% of Gaza's population. Yeah. With the complicity of the American people. Steven Donziger. It's an old article. Let's see. Let's give me something horrible to look at before I go to work. God. Yeah, Israel has killed 20.7% of Gaza's population. Imagine 20.7% of your city dead. Like, wipe entire fucking families off the map. Like, family lines that have existed since the days of Jesus Christ and Muhammad, just gone. No more. Whole family dead. Your blood nowhere to be seen on this earth. That's some fucking dark, wicked shit, man.
Like they said,
How
it's
much?
the rough equivalent of 70 million people in the USA.
Yeah, 70 million. 20.7%. And 70 million, like if 70 million people died in the United States, like statistically, you would know somebody that died in this genocide. You would know somebody. 70 million people is a shitload of people, man. So how much leeway would Zeron have running as a Democrat? I'm a supporter of like between the clean break and the dirty break. Okay, dirty break basically means like, to my understanding, you know what? Let me pull up an article I was reading earlier. Yes.
I'm a hardline clean break.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like some aspects of the dirty break are compelling. I think Comrade Truman is an adherent to that line.
Is we had a whole conversation about that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we have to break loose from the Democrats. And whether dirty, clean, whatever our concrete conditions lead us to do.
I also feel like that's something that needs to be struggled with within DSA, because you have the reformists that don't want a clean break until there's a party built to operate within the electoral bullshit, and then you have the other side that's, if our goal is not to pursue electoral gains, or that's not our main focus, what's the point in waiting for the break?
Definitely agree. But okay, so this article, I'm not going to link it because it also towards the end talks about like Carlos Garrido and refers to the party that he was building. Again, this article was released in 2024, so at least by that time it mentioned 18,000 lights. So. But the article says that one member describes the dirty break strategy as meaning in the short term the DSA should keep running candidates on a Democratic ballot line. But the crux of the dirty break is that concurrently the DSA should begin building an independent working class party. Upon assembling a sufficient infrastructure and voter base, the DSA should abandon the Democrats and run candidates under its banner. So St. Louis and I think Omaha, I'm not sure, but St. Louis we don't have really like partisan contests anymore. We have nonpartisan races. So like me, Matt, Skrilla, and Tiva, like we could all run for alderman. And like it wouldn't matter if we were really a Democrat or a Republican because like there's no more of that shit. So in races like that, I think like whether or not you are clicked up with the Democrats really does not matter. Yeah, nonpartisan primary municipal elections. That's what we have now. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure Kelsey Bond is running as DSA down here in Atlanta. So
okay,
that it's all dependent on the city, but most places are nonpartisan when it comes to like really local level stuff.
Yeah, and just like looking at a lot of these races in my city, a lot of these races were won by like a razor thin margin, like a few hundred votes. So by like getting turnout, like getting people who otherwise would not be inclined to vote out to vote, DSA could capture a lot of the north side wars in St. Louis. So there's compelling arguments for both. But yeah, I personally lean more towards like a rapid dirty break, I guess we could call it. Like we need to stop talking about breaking from the Democrats, like actually begin doing
just do it.
Yeah, just do it. If Zeron were to be betrayed, and he's going to be betrayed, because this gives the opportunity for a proper split between. What is it with y'all and y'all's obsession with splits?
Oh man.
Why would we want to split a party, not a party, an organization, the largest socialist organization in the United States, especially considering back in 2016, do you know what the largest socialist organization was? It was the fucking ISO, and they had 1.2K members. Do we want to go back to that time period? No, we don't fucking want to go back to that time period. We don't need a split. We just need a party line. That's all it comes down to, is an agreed upon line, not a split.
Are you people serious about like winning? Are you people serious about winning? I think a lot of these people are just obsessed with the internet. It's 44%. You know what? Anybody that calls DSA Zionist gets banned. Anybody that calls my organization Zionist, like
We've
a lot of y'all.
we've already had this discussion. The resolution is out there to read.
Like it,
Yeah.
And everybody
people,
that are the majority of people that
I'm not
voted
going to
against
keep
it have
repeating
their
my
reasons.
fucking self.
Like,
I'm not going to keep repeating myself to you. Look, if you believe that DSA is 44% Zionist, then don't fucking join DSA. We don't want you. Okay, like
so
you all are.
It's clear as day. They wasn't voted down because of Zionism. Was voted down because of the language in it. Like,
Yeah.
no
It
matter
was
how
still
how
stupid.
much
It was still fucking stupid to vote against it. But like, no, no. But again, that's where living on the internet. That's where living on the internet and never organizing and never actually engaging with the shit that you're talking about. Like at this point, y'all just don't give a fuck about Palestinians. Y'all just give a fuck about being in your mind right. That's disgusting. The Palestinian people deserve better friends. And if we had a fucking if black people, okay, black people are under genocide, but like if we had an active armed struggle against the United States going on, and you all were like squabbling over whether or not like inane shit language on resolutions, and like no, I would turn my wrath on you too. Can you invoke the Mao quote now? No investigation, no right to speak. By invoking Mao, by the way, if I recall correctly, Zenith, you live in St. Louis. You are obliged to join Liberation Caucus now. Welcome. Speaking of that, all four of y'all are Liberation cadres now. How does that feel?
Feels great.
So solid.
Time to
What
get
feels great about it?
Well, you studied for 10 weeks, and then you're like, hey, this is a graduation now. You studied, you had the conversations, you did the work, and like I was running a bootleg polyed.
Yeah, you're running a bootleg polyed.
What feels good about it, other than the red tag of my name in the Discord, is being able to make decisions now, being able to act upon those decisions.
There you go.
Since me and Matt run the labor committee.
Being able to do principled work and have comrades that you can lean on and reach out to.
Yeah. So, in regards to like this whole war on trans comrades, like what do we think DSA can do? Like I had this discussion with a local comrade. Like a lot of people are frustrated because like it seems like we are, even though we just came off a very very strong left oriented convention, a lot of people are still they're irritated by the impotence, not just of DSA, because we're not impotent as the largest socialist organization in the United States, but the left as a whole. Like this horrible shit keeps happening and happening and happening. And in many cases, while we're bogged down in bureaucracy and arguing over wording on resolutions, the masses are out there. The masses are basically out there leading themselves, guiding themselves, organizing themselves. So how do we get at the front of this?
I'll say what my local has been doing and is continuing to do since I've joined, and a few months before I joined actually, and I joined back in February. We have a organization that we're partnered with. The organization is called Just Transition NWI. No, NWI standing for Northwest Indiana. And what we do, because I've helped out here and there, is get HRT to trans folks that otherwise can't get it. So that's one thing you could do. That's one thing DSA as a whole could do, is partner up with organizations that are on the front lines doing that. A second thing is self-defense classes. I know Chicago does that a lot. Chicago does unarmed self-defense mostly, but obviously, like we've seen in Philly earlier in the year, partnering with the SRA to teach self-defense classes as well, especially since they're going after trans people's right to self-defense. Like partnering with an org that focuses on armed self-defense or even unarmed self-defense, it's going to benefit trans people because they're under direct attack.
Yeah, and Twin Cities was doing a lot of stuff for trans people, a lot of mutual aid oriented to trans people. And they were also doing like the self-defense classes aimed at women and trans people. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
and we want to do something similar in Louisville if our coalition continues to take off.
Yeah, and people keep thinking that What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me. Um, but I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, like people have the notion that DSA is just like mild labor and electoral work, but it's good seeing so many DSA chapters like doing self defense classes and partnering with other organizations. It's that's really good. And helping to defray. I mean, get rid of the negative stereotypes that DSA has. Like I had these negative stereotypes for a while when I was a fucking street mouse. I was like, what my fucking DSA? Aren't those all those fucking soft ass white liberals? But after I started getting involved, and yeah, those types of people that were around before 2016, they're still there. But the thing is, like, they are consistently being marginalized further and further and further into in the organization. One could say that people are trying to meet the moment. I actually wrote a. We actually had an article on liberation. I guess we could just call it website liberation, but it was a response to guy in Liberation Road.
Oops.
It's a split from the old Freedom Road Socialist Organization. They split in 1999, but yeah, it's titled "The Moment Is Here: In Defense of the DSA National Convention and Repudiation of Right Sectarianism." Why? Because I'm a Maoist, and we all love long article titles. Fuck you. But yeah, we have to like we have to defend our gains. We cannot just rest on our laurels because that's what the right did, and we see what happened to them. They got unasked. I mean, they still have representation on the NPC because I mean they still have a basis for existence within the organization. But yeah, I had to respond to that article. It was a very bad sectarian article that, if followed, would lead to basically wrecking. Setting up mountain kingdoms, ignoring the NPC. You can't do that. That's not very principled. Like, and the thing is, like, when you talk to DSA writers, they always say that that's how we act. And here we are, like, urging greater unity because why? We have to meet the moment. The moment that we live in now is shitty.
I was talking with my friend Evelyn about this. She's a member of Red Star. She posted on Blue Sky about how, like,
why do y'all keep using Blue Sky? Who uses Blue Sky? Why are you on Blue Sky?
Oh, just because I have friends on there, and I was like,
it's for old liberals.
But she posted on there, and she was like, "Yeah, they always call us sectarian." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know why, because they're the only ones that are trying to seed division." Like, I've never seen anyone on the DSA left say shit about, like, we need to get rid of these people. These people are doing this. These people are doing that. We have criticism about them, but we never say we need to get rid of them. Whereas on DSA, right, always.
I'll tell them they're wrong, and I'll leave it at that. And
it's always been outsiders. Like, outsiders are mainly like, nobody on the DSA left has been calling to purge. SMC, groundwork. None of these people. Shit, even all 2 North Star members can stay. But like people, it's mainly been outsiders that meddling in our business. They're like, yeah, why haven't you guys done a purge? Like, how the fuck first of all, we don't even have that type of mechanism. We don't have those types of mechanics.
No.
To actually get, like, to get put out of DSA, like, you have to have done some objectively fucked up shit. And the thing is, like, what a lot of people don't understand is that DSA is an organization that has actual processes. Are they perfect? No. Like, when you have like a 20-person little sect that's led by some fucked up weirdo that wants a cult of rich college kids that with inordinate amounts of white guilt, then yeah, you can just be like, okay, you get the fuck out of here because you suck. But like conducting an ideopolitical purge in DSA, it's not happening. It's simply not going to. What usually happens is people are frozen out. Like if people, like, say you're in a chapter that's majority Maoist and you're a North Star member, you're usually going to, what's going to happen is you're going to self-purge because you're like, you know what, these people are crazy, they're nuts, I don't want to work with these people anymore, I'm going to leave. That's usually that's how purges happen in DSA. Like, to actually put somebody out of DSA, you have to make a report to to your HDO, right? You have to be like, hey, this person is X, blah, 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 blah. They did blah, 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 blah to me. There's going to be an investigation, and it's going to be, like, determined if this person actually did these things. Why? Because, like, we're not just going to take your word for it. Because if that was the case, then you'd have shit. I would have been purged a year ago. So we have actual processes, and yeah, then they have the option to appeal to the NPC. It's a whole fucking thing. And by that time, usually both the person in question and the person that filed a complaint have both left the organization. That's how purges would work.
And we're like, one of the other goals in handling grievances is we're also going to try to see if both parties could agree to mediation before it even turns into a grievance, right?
Like people understand. Like I've been through splits. Okay, that shit is painful and it's bad for your mental health. Like having constant like meetings and drafting long ass things and recounting the abuse that happened to you, like that shit is painful. It's bad for your mental health. And then like when you get put out of an organization, you lose, like in many cases, a lot of people's entire social life revolves around an organization. So if you get put out of DSA or PSL, whatever, you lose like all your friends. They don't talk to you anymore because they don't want to be affiliated with you because you're a bad person, trademark. And like, it's a whole fucking thing. Like these people that are just like calling for us to unilateral, like I'm not purging my fucking chapter, bro. Why? Like why? There's no evidence of anybody in my chapter like actually being like, you know what, Israel is dope. I love Israel. Like there have certainly been like iffy shit, like weird shit, but like there are no open ideologically committed Zionists in DSA anymore.
No.
Like, no. There's maybe one guy for whom the argument could be made, but like he's isolated. Everybody laughs at him.
They would not be comfortable here.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
No, Zionists fucking hate DSA.
Why else would the DSA be on the ADL's website? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They don't like us, and we don't like them. It's pretty clear.
Same thing.
The line of demarcation has been drawn.
Yeah, same thing with the fucking Democrats. The fucking Democrats hate us. Like, that's why I laugh when people are like, DSA is a wing of the Democrats. Like, no, we're not.
I was talking about this with my local. Did you know that if you go to the Democrat subreddit, you cannot talk about DSA at all? They will ban you. They will fucking ban you. That is, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. And I was talking about that with my local because I was like, I hate when people call us a wing of the Democrats because they hate us. They don't like us.
Yeah. Unity, struggle, unity. No thanks. I'd like to struggle against everybody and unite nobody. I mean, we'll see how your mental is in like 6 months.
And the funny thing about like whether you talk about a clean break or a dirty break, it's like the Democrats are already pushing you away. They don't want anything to do with you. Leave them alone. Just accept it. Accept that they don't want us.
Truman made a good argument in favor of a dirty break. He said basically that if DSA were to restructure into a party, then anyone can run our ballot, which is a fair point, but it kind of gets broken out when you consider that DSA people already usually run as independent. Like, we don't need to restructure into a party line, but rather break away from the Dems. That's really just what it comes down to, because either way, no matter what you look at it, we're still bigger than all the other like third parties within the United States anyway. Like, and we aren't even a party. So there's not really an excuse I see to even stick with the Dems. It's not like we're relying on them, but we're not in 2016 anymore. We're not in 2017, so on and so forth. We're in 2025.
And DSA loves grassroots door knocking, so
that is true.
Go touch some grass and knock on some fucking doors.
But the first thing they're gonna do, they're probably gonna try to run Sean Fain.
People only like Sean Fain because his name sounds like Sinn Fein.
And his accent.
Yeah, and his accent. Yeah, I don't. The thing is, I don't put white people on a pedestal. Like Malcolm said, like, yeah, I'm not going to. Like, what do you want, a cookie? Good. You finally gotten to where a shitload. You finally gotten to where Jesse Jackson was in 1984. Whoop de fucking do. You're 40 years late, bro. But so what do we think like a Maoist electoral strategy would look like? Because Mao said that, like, hey, if you live in a, even if it's false, a state that posits itself as a liberal democracy, and you're like running around. Even Joma said this, and you're running around talking about arms struggle, arms struggle, arms struggle. Yay! You're a fucking idiot. At least until a crisis happens.
I say
So we
that
have to. So what would our electoral strategy as Maoists look like?
I say that we should follow the structure that the Panthers followed. I mean, they didn't endorse people that were specifically creating grounds for revolution, but they were endorsing people that made it easier for them to organize, and made it easier for them to be boots on the ground. I was gonna bring up an example. I forgot that dude's name, but either way, that's right there is an American example.
You probably talking about Ron Dellums.
Yeah. But either way, like,
or Lionel Wilson, the first black mayor of Oakland. But yeah, they endorsed quite a few people,
and it made it easier for them to organize themselves. Like, because when you have the state pressure taken off of you just a little, you get so much done. And so with that, I feel like the electoral strategy of Maoists with the United States shouldn't be more so to get people into power to enact Maoism, because that doesn't make any fucking sense, but more so to just make it easier for us boots on the ground people to organize and to not be bothered when organizing, at least by state thugs. By street thugs, obviously that's a different case, but by the state, we could change that.
Yeah. And as a rural person, like, you always see everywhere there's rural areas, people there don't really get political. And so, like, the most antagonistic people, Republicans, they run unopposed. There's like nobody who challenges them. So to give people a voice, you would actually go and oppose those motherfuckers, right? You'd actually go and oppose them electorally. You'd oppose their reign over city council. You'd oppose their reign over the magistrates, and then all those other positions.
That's pretty much where I'm at. As far as electoral work that we should be focusing on, I don't care about a president, senator, governor, anything outside of your local, whether it be city or county. Mm-hmm. If you want to take control of something, run multiple people from your chapter for school board or city council, those positions, because you focus on national level and you're like, oh, well, if we run this person, it'll be easy to organize because they'll make it so. It's easier to get people elected on your local level to make it easier for you to organize within your community and your city. And if we have multiple chapters doing that across the country, little by little, it's going to start growing. I feel like the focus on national politics is too heavy, and really start from the ground up.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's a waste of money. I feel like we should reach a little higher than what you said. I feel like governor is probably the highest we should reach, but at the same time, like, I do agree with what you mean pretty much.
Yeah. I voted against running somebody for president. I think it would be like a waste of time and money. And again, like, I mean, I see, like, the longer I remain in DSA, the more, like, I realize that, like, taking, like, some things are non-negotiable. Like, anti-Zionism is non-negotiable. Prison abolitionism, it's non-negotiable. But, like, when you take an ultra-left position, like, you stick your sword in the sand and you're like, this is what we're going to do. Anybody that crosses this line shall perish. That's usually a nice way to, like, you're going to end up isolated. And like that rah-rah shit, it doesn't win anybody over. It alienates you from people. So am I like Mr. Compromise? No. But eventually, like, you're gonna have to like learn how to meet people. You're gonna have to learn how to meet people, like bring people over to 75% of what you want. So like the shit that's non-negotiable, you have to win people over to that. The 25%, there can be leeway on that. And I think the problem with the DSA left for so long was that it was just, for one, it was disorganized. It was extremely disorganized, and two, it was too, I want to say ultra left, but like it was just it was just too, I guess you could say, antagonistic. Like it spent too much time sticking its sword in the sand, and that's how come so many people burn out. Whereas this year, like there was basically left unity at convention. I mean, there were still struggles within, but on shit that mattered, like R22, um, we had unity on that, and that was good. So learning from that, um, in regards to electoral politics, like we're not gonna be 100% abstentionists because that's not gonna work in the United States. People that look at you like you're insane. Like Maoists spent the entire latter half of the 2010s and the early 2020s, the early part of the 2020s, scribbling "Don't vote, revolt" on walls. And we weren't dialectical in our analysis. We didn't analyze the fact that hey, people are trying to disenfranchise black folks for a reason. Prisoners, people who are on people who have been released from prison are disenfranchised for a reason. So um, I definitely think that working to restore voting rights to people who have been released from prison is a good thing because I think that a lot of those votes feasibly could go to DSA backed candidates or progressive candidates in general. So we have to be dialectical um, and realize, hey, this is where we're at right now. Like we're not in an armed struggle situation. There are no guerrillas in the Rocky Mountains. There are no guerrillas in the Everglades. This is where we are. This is what we must do. How do we lay the foundations for this type of action in the future?
You know, you can't be a bulldozer if you don't even have a shovel.
That is true.
You can't convince everybody that electoral work is not the answer if you can't show them the failures.
Yeah.
They're just going to be, oh, we can vote next time, we can vote next year, but when they are actively involved in trying to get things changed via reform and they see that the state is going to act against it, firsthand knowledge.
Definitely agree. And this also ties into defending our trans comrades because, like, a lot of the shit is coming from school boards. It's coming from local governments. Like, a hardline electoral abstentionist position would literally cede a trench of combat to the enemy. Like Moms for Liberty, I think that group is called. That's been trying to take over school boards and other stuff like that and pass these horrible trans exclusionary positions. Like we cannot leave those seats to them. We cannot allow them to run unopposed.
They started extremely niche and extremely local. That's how Moms for Liberty got their popularity, right? They just did it one county at a time, one school district at a time, one city council at a time, right? If you watch that Democrat on YouTube named Walter Masterson, he's like always at school board meetings in these different places where
that sounds boring as fuck.
Oh, he's funny though. He's funny, and he's not like to call him a Democrat is wrong. Like he actually has pretty decent politics, right? Like he stood with Palestine since the beginning, right?
Yeah. Can we define party building as it pertains to the DSA right now? What would that entail, and what is the Maoist position being in a dual electoral revolutionary organization? We did the AMA last week, and y'all were asking, like, we spend most of our time bullshitting with each other. Now y'all want to
about
do
fast
AMA.
food.
Fast food. So
that's what we talked about all last week.
How do we define party building as it pertains to the DSA right now?
That's a bit of a vague question because for some, DSA is already a party but without a ballot. And for others, it won't be a party until it gets a ballot line. And so it really depends on what do you mean by that. Do you mean like a structure with a proper line of that everyone follows? Or do you mean like the ballot box? Because if you mean like a proper line that everyone follows, I would say that for the most part, DSA is already a party. But if you mean the ballot box, then all that would come down to is just the legal groundwork of it.
I think the comrade, his definition of their definition of party would be like a party in the traditional Marxist-Leninist sense, like a democratic centralist party, um, of that type.
But also a party in structure too, because there's so many laws, especially when it comes to nonprofits, about what they can and can't do when it pertains to politics, right? So, like, if DSA could actually go and openly lobby, that's something they can't do right now. But that's something they could do if they adapted another type of structure, maybe a front group or something like that.
Yeah, let the Filipino comrades, the Filipino comrades use. Like, I definitely see us needing our own version of the NDFP.
Because if you try to lobby with an organization as DSA is right now, you will face tremendous consequences from the federal government.
Yeah, it's going to be found non-compliant. They're going to take away our status. Now, like, there's a lot of shit that we can't do. So I definitely see, as we develop closer towards a party, whatever Comrades' definition of that is, I definitely see us having to use, like, for one, having to work in coalitions a lot more. Like, intentionally building our own coalitions or joining currently existing coalitions. And I also see us, like, having to lay the foundations for the development of a united front, like the NDFP, but according to America's concrete conditions, because we also have to keep in mind that the Philippines is a semi-feudal, semi-colonial country, is in the midst of a new democratic revolution, whereas in the United States, the NDR doesn't necessarily apply because we make semi-feudal, semi-colonial countries. We are not one. Sure. But again, we could take examples from comrades overseas, but the only way I think to learn, like, how to do this stuff is, as Mao would say, by biting the pear. We haven't really got to the stage where we could bite the pear yet. And this is why report backs and summations are also extremely important. For me, as a Palestinian Marxist, my ideological struggle is against one-staters who want squatters to stay in occupied Palestine. I've been called an absurd maximalist by crypto-trots, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I admit I'm permanently traumatized watching my people die on a daily basis. Thank you for your solidarity. Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, you have the right to believe that. Like, I would never, ever dare to tell a Palestinian comrade. And what people understand is, like, the Palestinian liberation movement it's not a monolith. There are literal fucking Republicans who are Palestinian American who could be considered part of the Palestinian solidarity movement. They're Democrats in the Palestinian solidarity movement. Why? Because they're Palestinian American and they have links back to the West Bank and to Gaza. So it's not an ideological monolith. And I think where a lot of comrades mess up when they try to analyze or engage with these movements. Of course, as Maoists, we always align ourselves with the left. The left must stick with the left. But also, we tend to live vicariously through these movements, and we try to carry out our own ideological struggles as Americans within these movements. And I think that's extremely unprincipled. And as we read in False Nationalism, False Internationalism, at least, it's some pretty fucked up shit. So the struggle of the Palestinian people, the liberation of the Palestinian people, we are in solidarity, but, like, it is up to the Palestinian people themselves in diaspora and at home to determine what their state will look like. And, like, that's why I laugh at people who condemn October 7th. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck are you to condemn October 7th? Like, what business of it is yours? This is not your people that's being killed. I'm not going to tell anybody else how to get free because I don't want anybody else to tell me how to get free. If you condemn October 7th, you would have condemned Nat Turner. Like, what it did, like, what concretely does a condemnation do? It's virtue signaling. Oh my God, Hamas bad, killing people bad. Okay, cool. Tell that to the cops.
It's
like, it's fucking war.
Moralistic.
It's moralistic bullshit. It's a fucking war. So in terms of the four of us, neither one of us is an electoral abstentionist. Like, we do recognize that. Why do you keep changing your hat every 3 minutes?
It gets annoying.
It gets annoying. And then, like, I think this is probably the most theoretically serious conversation that we've had. Like, none of y'all have been drunk. Neither one of y'all have pulled out a fucking big ass boot of alcohol or moonshine. Neither one of y'all has been yelling at your girlfriend. Neither one of y'all has been waving weapons around on street. You know why I think that is? I think it's because Cyan isn't here. Cyan is a bad influence.
That is very true. I feel like
Yeah.
he's the one that brings in all the chaotic energy, and then it just like upsets all of us, and then we have to act out because of it, because it's his presence. He fucks with all of us.
I'd say we should bring Cyan is the agent of strife. What should the terms of engagement with non-socialist, ostensible, progressive activists and politicians? It's simple. Unite on what we can unite on, and if it's irrelevant shit, table it. But if it's like, if it's principled, like for example, if they're a literal fucking Zionist, for example, Nithya Raman in Los Angeles is a perfect example. Like she literally sought support from Democratic majority for Israel. Like, no, we are not working with anybody like that. So it's on a case by case basis. Cori Bush of St. Louis, she's dope. She like, and that's the thing. Like, it depends on the elected. Like Cori Bush knows better than to go out and fucking play footsie with Zionists, because that's not how St. Louis rolls. Like St. Louis has a very thriving and active Palestinian solidarity movement. Like the Palestinians literally taught St. Louis how to deal with tear gas during the Mike Brown uprising. Like, we're like this. So yeah, Cori Bush knows better because she actually came through the movement. And yeah, whereas you have people like AOC, who I'm starting to strongly believe she was astroturfed. Like nobody knew who they were, who she was. And now here you have her like, yeah, AOC. But yeah, it depends. It depends on the concrete conditions.
We will never betray our core principles for an easy win. We can't do that. We'll just be known as a bunch of opportunists, right?
Yeah. Well, people call us opportunists anyways for being in DSA.
And electoral gain's not really a win in the first place. It's just a stopgap, really, at most.
Yeah, the Gonzaloites are going to reemerge and start calling us the Dingite caucus. It's okay. It's okay. We've got guns. They don't. Anyways, Alexandria Ocasio-Obama. And on that end, I have to go get ready for work. Now I'm going to be thinking about Alexandria Ocasio-Obama all night.
But could I ask one question? So I had one question just to run it by everybody. So what do you do exactly when sort of like the state is cutting off your ability to do things in a municipal capacity? If you say get people on city councils, get people on school boards, stuff like that. Because Kentucky, Florida, those places, very Republican, they see something happening and then they just take away the ability to do that on the municipal level. They just say, nope, not going to happen. Can't do it. It's unconstitutional.
Yeah, Missouri does that same thing. Like
they do.
Like the fucking governor is literally trying to redistrict Emmanuel Cleaver. He's a piece of shit, but he's basically trying to redistrict the state so that our entire congressional delegation is Republican. Because basically, our state government has been at war with two blue cities, Kansas City and St. Louis. Well, we can also add Columbia to the mix because that's where the college is.
Kentucky's doing the same thing. Louisville, Jefferson County, like the whole state goes after them. Frankfurt hates them.
I think the thing is we have to build a mass movement, and again, like we can't be abstentionists. Like we have to organize and involve people in the struggle for democratic rights. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Organize, educate, agitate.
Yep. Anyways, we are your gang of four, and I think we're permanently going to replace Cyan with Matt. Cyan sucks. Cyan has us in here acting a fool. No, I'm not going. No, Cyan is good. They have a meeting because they are also a liberation organizer, and we don't just sit and yap in front of mics and cameras. Anyways,
right?
Hopefully y'all learned something. Good night.
Earlier today, I was teaching the mass line to somebody who reached out to Ewok for help.
Oh, Ewok entryism. Anyways, good night.